The Buddha taught, when the mind becomes still, suffering naturally disappears. Anyone who listens will change. In modern life, people face countless pressures: the struggle to make a living, illness, complicated relationships, misunderstandings, expectations they cannot meet, loneliness of the heart, and the feeling of being abandoned in a noisy world. Amid these whirlwinds, the Buddha's teaching shines like a guiding light. When the mind is still, suffering naturally disappears. This short sentence contains profound wisdom about human nature and the workings of thoughts, emotions, and suffering. It is not merely a comforting saying, it is a law of the mind. The more chaotic the mind is, the more suffering grows. The calmer the mind is, the more peace arises. 1. Why does suffering arise? Buddhism examines the nature of suffering from a very practical perspective. The Buddha did not teach people to seek happiness externally. He first pointed out that the root of suffering lies within the mind. He taught that all afflictions arise from 3 states. 1. Greed, desire, excessive expectations. We suffer because we want everything to go exactly as we wish. We want others to understand us. We want satisfying work. We want life to go smoothly. We want someone to love us. We want money, status, success. But reality rarely follows our expectations, and immediately dissatisfaction and disappointment arise. 2. Anger, resistance, rejection, refusal to accept. When things go against our wishes, we don't just feel sad. We mentally resist. We get angry at others, at ourselves, at circumstances, at fate. But we forget one truth. Resisting does not make the problem disappear. It only disturbs the mind even more. 3. Ignorance, misunderstanding the nature of life. Most people suffer because they do not understand that everything is impermanent. We cannot control everything. The more we cling, the more we hurt. The more we resist, the more we suffer. Happiness does not come from the outside, but from within. This lack of understanding drives us to chase illusions, only to feel disappointed when we fail. Greed, anger, and ignorance, these 3 are the root of all suffering. 2. Why does a chaotic mind create more suffering? Observe your mind when you are angry, fearful, or anxious. You will notice rapid heartbeat, short breath, chaotic thoughts, the mind being dragged by emotions. A chaotic mind is like a stormy lake. The water turns muddy and can no longer reflect the sky. When the mind is disturbed, we misperceive problems, we exaggerate fears, we imagine things that are not real, we act emotionally instead of wisely. We say hurtful words, we make poor decisions, we complicate everything. Hence the Buddha taught, the mind is the root. All happiness and suffering arise from the mind. To end suffering, we need not change the world, only settle the mind. 3. What is a still mind? Many think stillness means having no thoughts or emotions, like a monk sitting motionless. But that is not the case. A still mind is one that is not carried away by emotions. Thoughts still arise, but they no longer control us. Emotions still arise, but they no longer dominate us. Sadness still appears, but we remain clear and aware. Challenges appear, but we face them calmly. Stillness means seeing things as they truly are, not exaggerating, not coloring them with ego-driven reactions. The Buddha taught, a still mind is not a non-active mind, but a mind that is not disturbed. Hasta 4. What happens when the mind becomes still? Like a lake calming after the wind passes, the water becomes clear and the moonlight appears. Stillness does not create peace. It reveals the peace already within us. 1. Suffering dissolves naturally, not because problems disappear, but because our perception changes. Suffering exists only when the mind clings to it. When we stop clinging, suffering loses its ground. 2. Wisdom arises. When the mind is calm, clarity appears. We know what to say, what to do, and what not to do. 3. Emotions stabilize. Fear lessens. Anger fades. Sadness lightens. The mind flows like a gentle stream. 4. Relationships improve. With a still mind, we speak less hurtfully, listen more deeply, understand others better, empathize more naturally. Health improves. Stress, anxiety, depression. Many illnesses arise from the mind. When the mind is peaceful, the body also heals. The Buddha taught, a tranquil mind is the source of happiness. 5. How to cultivate a still mind? The Buddha's answer is clear: practice and self-observation. Some basic methods. 1. Breathing, the anchor of the mind. When the mind is restless, simply inhale deeply, exhale slowly, observe the breath. The mind slows down immediately. 2. Observe emotions without resisting. When angry, know you are angry. When sad, know you are sad. When anxious, know you are anxious. Do not judge, suppress, or run away. Observe like a witness, the emotion will fade. 3. Let go. Release what you cannot control. Most suffering comes from clinging to what is not ours to hold. Letting go is not giving up, it is freeing the mind. 4. Slow down. Eat slowly, walk slowly, speak slowly, think slowly. Slowness brings mindfulness. 5. Reduce information consumption. In today's world, noise comes from social media, phones, news, gossip. A mind stuffed with information cannot be still. Reduce unnecessary input. Stillness begins with selective attention. 6. Stillness is not escape. Many think stillness means withdrawing from life, but the Buddha taught the opposite. The most peaceful person is the one who lives in the world without being swept away by it. Stillness is strength, the courage to face suffering without collapsing. Part 2. Why simply listening to the Buddha's teaching can change one's life. The Buddha's teachings have a unique power. Merely listening can transform a person's mind. Why? Because his words do not impose beliefs, do not require rituals, and do not demand blind faith. They go directly to the root structure of suffering, to the inner workings of the mind. The Buddha taught from his own experience of overcoming suffering, not theories, not philosophy. Therefore, his teachings naturally resonate with human hearts. 1. Because the Buddha points directly to the root of suffering. Most people only deal with the surface. Changing jobs, changing relationships, changing their environment, changing habits, seeking comfort, distracting themselves. But the Buddha directly reveals the root. Your suffering comes from your mind. Once a person understands this truth, even briefly, something inside them changes instantly. They stop blaming others. They stop resisting reality. They stop chasing illusions. They stop trying to control everything. They turn inward. This shift alone is the beginning of liberation. 2. Because his teachings awaken wisdom already inside us. The Buddha said, all beings have the capacity for awakening. When one hears the Dhamma, the wisdom within naturally stirs. It is like striking a bell. The sound emerges from within the bell, not from the striker. Similarly, the truth is already in us. The Buddha's words merely awaken it. This is why so many people say, I felt peaceful the moment I listened. My problem suddenly became clear. I understood what I had never understood. My mind relaxed without trying. It is not magic. It is recognition of truth. 3. Because the Buddha's teaching removes illusions. Listening to the Dhamma is like wiping dust off a mirror. We see our desires, we see our clinging, we see our ego, we see our wrong perceptions, we see our constant resistance to life. Once illusions fade, suffering dissolves. Sometimes, just one sentence is enough to awaken a sleeping heart. 4. Because the Dhamma enters the heart through silence, not thoughts. When people listen to the Dhamma sincerely, the mind naturally becomes still. Thoughts slow down, the heart opens, and truth settles in. This stillness is healing. Many people say, I wasn't searching for anything, but suddenly I understood myself. I felt a warm peace I've never felt before. Because the truth is not understood through thinking, it is understood through direct inner recognition. 5. Because to hear the Dhamma is to hear one's own heart. Ultimately, the Buddha does not tell us what to think. He shows us how to look within. When we listen to him, we are actually listening to our suffering, our fears, our expectations, our past wounds, our inner child, our hidden wisdom. That is why the Dhamma touches people so deeply. It is not external knowledge. It is a mirror of the soul. Part 3. The 12 Practices to Cultivate a Still Mind. The Buddha did not merely teach ideas, he offered practical methods that anyone can apply in daily life. Below are 12 simple but powerful practices that help the mind become still and free from suffering. 1. Breathe consciously. The breath is the bridge between the body and the mind. Whenever you feel anxious, angry, restless, or overwhelmed, take a deep breath. Exhale slowly. Observe the air entering and leaving your body. Do nothing else. Within seconds, the mind begins to settle. The Buddha said, mindfulness of breathing brings clarity and peace. 2. Observe. Don't fight your emotions. When anger arises, know it. When fear arises, know it. When sadness appears, know it. Don't suppress, judge, escape, deny, blame, push away. Simply observe. An emotion observed is an emotion that dissolves. 3. Accept things as they are. Most suffering does not come from events, but from our refusal to accept them. Acceptance does not mean defeat. It means recognizing reality clearly and acting wisely. A still mind begins with acceptance. 4. Let go of what you cannot control. Life becomes lighter the moment you realize you cannot control others' thoughts, actions, feelings, or choices. The Buddha taught, letting go brings freedom, clinging brings suffering. Letting go does not mean giving up. It means freeing the mind from unnecessary burdens. 5. Speak less, listen more. Most people don't listen. They wait for their turn to speak. When you listen deeply, your mind naturally becomes calm, your understanding deepens, and conflicts soften. Silence is often the highest wisdom. 6. Reduce excessive thinking. Overthinking creates problems that never existed. Whenever the mind spins endlessly, take a pause and ask, is this thought useful? If not, release it like a bird from your hand. 7. Do one thing at a time. Multitasking scatters the mind. Eat only when eating. Walk only when walking. Work only when working. Single-minded attention is meditation in action. 8. Slow down. Modern life pushes us to rush. But the Buddha taught that mindfulness comes from slowness. Slow your steps, speech, reactions, breathing, thinking. Slowness creates space. Space creates stillness. 9. Spend time in silence. Every day, silence is nourishment for the mind. You don't need a temple. Just sit quietly for a few minutes. Breathe, feel your body, and allow everything to settle. Even 5 minutes a day can transform your inner world. 10. Simplify your life. A cluttered life leads to a cluttered mind. Simplify your schedule, your possessions, your relationships, your digital habits, your commitments. Simplicity is a doorway to peace. 11. Be grateful. Gratitude shifts the mind from what is missing to what is present. A grateful mind is a peaceful mind. A peaceful mind is a still mind. 12. Practice compassion. When you understand others, anger fades. When you forgive others, your heart softens. When you open your heart, your mind finds peace. Compassion is a powerful purifier of the mind. Part 4. The obstacles that prevent the mind from becoming still and how to overcome them. Even when people sincerely want peace, the mind often refuses to calm down. Why? Because certain obstacles continuously disturb our inner world. The Buddha clearly pointed out these hindrances so that we can recognize them and free ourselves. Below are the major obstacles that prevent stillness and how to overcome each one. 1. Restlessness and endless thinking. This is the most common obstacle. The mind jumps from thought to thought. Why did they say that? What will happen tomorrow? What if I fail? What if things go wrong? The mind becomes like boiling water. Even if you place the moon above it, nothing reflects. How to overcome it? Focus on the breath. Return to the present moment. Slow your movements. Reduce unnecessary stimulation. News, social media, noise. Calmness begins with simplification. 2. Attachment and clinging. The tighter you hold, the more you suffer. We cling to people, expectations, possessions, memories, the past, the future, identity, success, reputation. Attachment makes the mind heavy and restless. How to overcome it? Ask yourself, is this something I can truly keep forever? Understanding impermanence loosens the grip of attachment. Letting go brings freedom. 3. Fear of losing control. Many people become anxious because they want everything to follow their plan. When reality doesn't match expectations, they resist, get angry, or collapse. How to overcome it? Recognize this truth. You cannot control life. You can only control your responses. Once this truth sinks in, fear begins to fade. 4. Desire for more and more endless desire is like a bottomless pit. You fill it and it empties again. The Buddha taught that unexamined desire is one of the strongest causes of suffering. How to overcome it? Notice the moment a desire arises. Ask, do I truly need this, or is it just craving? Practice contentment with what is enough. Contentment brings stillness. 5. Anger and resentment. Anger burns the heart before it touches others. Some people carry anger for years, thinking they are punishing others, but they only poison themselves. How to overcome it? Observe anger as a passing emotion. Understand that people act based on their pain and ignorance. Practice forgiveness, not for others, but for yourself. Forgiveness is liberation. 6. The habit of judging. Everything we judge, ourselves, others, situations, the past, the future, even small details. Judgment creates mental noise. How to overcome it? Practice seeing things as they are without labeling them as good or bad. Non-judgment creates inner peace. 7. Living in the past or the future regret keeps us in the past. Worry keeps us in the future. The Buddha said, the past is gone, the future has not yet come, only the present is available. How to overcome it? Return to the here and now. Feel your breath. Feel your steps. Feel your body. Feel this moment. Peace lives only in the present. 8. Lack of self-understanding. When you do not understand your own emotions, fears, patterns, and wounds, your mind constantly stirs. How to overcome it? Meditation and self-observation. Know your patterns. Recognize your triggers. Understand your inner child. Self-understanding leads to self-compassion. 9. Too much external stimulation. Phones, notifications, entertainment, gossip, crowds, noise. They keep the mind busy and overstimulated, leaving no room for calmness. How to overcome it? Create quiet time every day. Turn off unnecessary notifications. Reduce social media. Protect your mental space. 10. Conflicts in relationships. Unresolved tensions cause internal storms. Angry words spoken, words we regret, misunderstandings, expectations unmet, emotional gaps. How to overcome it? Listen deeply, speak gently, practice empathy, clarify misunderstandings, apologize when needed. Peace in relationships creates peace in the mind. 11. Ignoring the body. A tired, stressed, or unhealthy body affects the mind directly. How to overcome it? Sleep well. Eat mindfully. Move your body. Rest when needed. A relaxed body supports a still mind. 12. Lack of meaning or purpose. When life feels empty, the mind becomes restless and confused. How to overcome it? Clarify your values. Choose meaningful actions. Live with intention, not autopilot. Meaning grounds the mind. Part 5. Conclusion. The Buddha's final message about stillness and the end of suffering. After teaching for 45 years, having met countless people with countless forms of suffering, the Buddha summarized the path to peace in one simple truth. When the mind is still, suffering ends. All the practices, teachings, and wisdom ultimately point to this one destination. Stillness is not an escape from life. Stillness is the ability to live fully without being controlled by fear, desire, or anger. Stillness is not emptiness. Stillness is clarity. Stillness is not passivity. Stillness is strength. Stillness is not silence. Stillness is understanding. 1. You cannot stop the waves, but you can learn to rest on the water life will always bring. Challenges, changes, misunderstandings, gain and loss, illness, aging, separation, disappointment, uncertainty. But suffering is optional. The Buddha taught, the waves of life cannot be stopped, but the mind can learn not to drown. A still mind floats, a restless mind sinks. 2. Peace is not something you search for. It is something you uncover. Peace has always been within you. It is covered only by fear, desire, anger, regret, worry, restlessness, misunderstanding. Remove the layers and peace appears naturally. Just as clouds cannot destroy the sky, emotions cannot destroy your true nature. They only cover it temporarily. 3. Everyone can achieve a still mind, not just monks. People often think, I'm too busy. I have a family. I have responsibilities. I can't meditate like monks. But the Buddha taught, peace is for everyone, not only for monks. You can find stillness while breathing, while walking, while washing dishes, while working, while driving, while loving, while living an ordinary life. Peace is always available. 4. Just one quiet moment can change your entire life. Maybe suffering has lasted for years. Maybe your heart has carried too much. Maybe you've tried to escape your mind countless times. But inside you, there is a quiet place that nothing can disturb. When you touch that place even once, you understand the meaning of freedom. 5. The Buddha's final reminder. If we summarize everything into one message, it is this: happiness is not found by changing your life. Happiness is found by changing your mind. And the key to changing the mind is stillness. When the mind becomes still, clarity appears, wisdom arises, compassion grows, suffering dissolves, the heart opens, the world seems lighter, life becomes simple, peace becomes natural. This is the path of liberation. Final words. May you find moments of stillness in your daily life. May your heart become lighter. May your mind become clear. May you understand your suffering. May you walk gently and peacefully in this world. Stillness is already within you. You only need to return to it.